And again, we have to inform you that we have a live edition, which is the maiden one, of course, as your election command center of Election Manifesto. Now, Election Manifesto will be brought to you every Thursday right here on TV3 New Day, where we visit a specific constituency. And following that, we'll do interactions with the various political groupings or political parties who are gearing up or getting their loins to make sure that they contest visibly and vigorously the elections on December 7, when we have those polls running for parliamentary and presidential elections. And for the maiden edition of Election Manifesto on TV3 New Day, we are interacting with residents as well as the key political stakeholders in the Ledzokuku constituency. And already we're pitching camp at the total filling station that's around Tribula, we're told. And we'll try and hook up with the team. Na Ashoko is going to do the moderation for that. And I tell you, it's going to be a sight to behold, great education for all of us on your election command center, Election Manifesto, right here on TV3 New Day. So make sure you stick and stay. It is going to be up from about 8:45 to the 9 o'clock belt. So stay with us. We're live from Tribula, just around the total filling station, as we call it in our local parlance, the Election Manifesto, Ledzokuku constituency, the maiden edition today. So if you're a constituent of the Ledzokuku constituency, make sure you make your way towards that ground. Let's have a great conversation. But before then, you would have been having cash out. It goes with the short code *439#. And with *439#, you have money credited into your mobile money account. All you have to do is to make sure you choose option 2. And with option 2, you get to choose TV3 because you're watching TV3 New Day. And when we do the draws, you get money credited into your mobile money account. Okay. And I tell you, we're going to have some nice conversation this morning as well. So let's increase the stakes. And when you go, you find the number of tickets that you have to stake to increase your chances. The more you stake, the more you get your chances increasing when we have the draws. As of now, if you join us, it's an easy thing for you to do. Let me just introduce our guests for today. So I have here Awo Adubia Kekeli. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
Yeah, great.
Good.
We'll have some nice conversation, right?
Sure.
All right, and we have a man who does not need any introduction, Chief Executive for the Consumer Protection Agency. Very active across the landscape, has been actually for over 20 years right here in Ghana. And we have Kofi Kapito right here. Kofi Kapito, good morning to you.
Roland, good morning. Long time no see.
Yeah, well, I'm told cement prices, they want to regulate it. So maybe we can find...
It doesn't make any sense.
You want us to leave it to...
We have a free market.
It doesn't make sense at all.
No, it doesn't make sense. The minister got it wrong.
Get closer to my mic for me.
The minister got it wrong. You can't. We are doing a free market. If the minister wants to do something, government should. No, seriously, government should either build a factory or finance somebody to build a factory to compete with these people with maybe a subsidy, so that the price will come down from other businesses. And I repeat, this is a free market. We should get it right. The price control days are over, but government has a role to play, and government should not get off their responsibility as the minister was trying to go through the back door to get a law. You can't do that.
Kofi Kapito already throwing salvos.
It's not salvos, he's telling the truth.
Fire. Anyway, and so our main conversation is about the President of the Republic of Kenya. Now, after being under undue pressure from the protesting youth over the finance bill, which apparently, if assented by him as President of the Republic, would have imposed a number of taxes on the Kenyan people. As a result of that, we had young people who had thrown the streets of not only Nairobi contesting that, they had also gotten into the Senate, that is their equivalent of our parliament right here. So you can imagine protesting Ghanaian youth who will just enter the parliament gate and get into the chamber, destroying items, etc. But it's also after days of protest for which he even made an announcement that he will make sure those acts of treason and the security of Kenya was not compromised. Now, days after, he decided to then concede to the protesters, which included not only the young people, but various leaders, including some members of parliament as well, or the Senate, and also various agitating pressure groups in Kenya. What are the lessons that we can have from those protests for our republic, especially now that we're having just less than 6 months to that election on December 7, 2024? So a number of you will be joining us on our social media handles. We're grateful. Make sure you stick and stay. Let me just, as a regular thing that we do, also acknowledge a number of you who have joined us. I have a number of you. Roxanne Miller has joined us. Please share so that let's have some conversation. Solly Evans as well. And I have Kando Opoku Prempe Abuaje, who has joined us. Nelson Akoti also joining us as well. Please share. Mensa Majid. But let me just take you through the reasons why the Kenyan youth or young people were protesting. Because there were tax impositions that were embedded in that bill on bread, cooking oil, among other disposable items that are used daily in Kenyan homes. Now, the proposal to implement a 16% sales tax on bread, for example, and it's very poignant that we brought in the boss of the pressure group when it comes to consumers right here, has been doing this over 20 years, Kofi Kapito, to speak to also the issues, because even right here we have a bill that's supposed to regulate cement prices as well. And we're just asking him his own thoughts on this. Imposition of a 25% tax on cooking oil. So you can imagine the cooking oil. We're going to have imposition of taxes as well. And then we have a number of them as well. Subsequently, raising taxes on financial transactions. So they have the equivalent of the e-levy in Kenya as well. That would have been implemented. And this was fiercely resisted. I don't know whether this one was the equivalent of the emission tax. So they have a new annual vehicle ownership tax equivalent to 2.5% of the value of the vehicle. I just saw an Escalade outside. So it means that you're going to pay 2.5% of the 2023 Escalade. For my big people who use Escalade and Lexus and all that. I saw even a Dodge. Was it Dodge? Was it Dodge? I saw a Dodge there. So you're going to pay 2.5% of that value. So we're going to rate it, for example, if it was to be in Ghana. And that's what is going to happen in Kenya. Increase of import taxes from 2.5% to 3% being imposed by the Ruto government on valuable items and payable by importers at the port. I don't know what Guta would have done on this. Already they are crying about the incremental rates they have to pay at the port. This adjustment also follows a reduction from 3.5% to 2.5% just a year ago. Now, the Kenya government also aimed to raise some $2.7 billion in additional taxes to reduce the budget deficits and state borrowing, even though the pressure groups and the youth had said that you need to rather reduce your expenditure as a government, because already Kenya's public debt stands currently at 68% of GDP. Ours there, don't talk about, and higher than the 55% that usually will be the threshold that is approved by the World Bank and the IMF. Now, what do you make of all this? So what lessons can we learn from this? Let's hear from Ruto himself, and then we'll come to the studio. Nanaya Janto has joined us. Nanaya Janto, good morning to you.
Good morning,
Fantastic. I love your red. Are you going for Jericho Hour today?
Yes, of course.
Fantastic, woman. And so...
You know there's a song called Lady in Red.
And then we have governance experts. I remember I met him one time in Monrovia, who was working as an advisor to the UN. And Professor Bafo Ajimandua, good morning to you. Okay. Now, let's hear from President Ruto of Kenya on why he conceded, so to speak.
Having reflected on the continuing conversation around the content of the Finance Bill 2024, and listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn. And I have agreed with these members that that becomes our collective position.
And now let's look at the scenes that characterized this protest, leading to the deaths of young people, protesters. So we saw a number of scenes in Nairobi. There were days of protest as well, leading to those deaths. So we'll bring you those visuals across board as we take the initial submissions in itself. And Kofi Kapito, let me just give you the first bite. What do you make, based on your observations on what and how it has started, and ultimately the under pressure Ruto conceding that he was not going to assent to the bill?
You know, one thing I can give to the president of Kenya is he has proven that he's a listening president, unlike in this country. Okay, because he was voted into power by the people. Okay, the power is for the people, it's not for Ruto. So at any given time, if the people says, we don't want this, try to convince them to understand, or also understand where they're also saying. In this country, we just do lip services from both parties. We've seen it since, is it the beginning of the Fourth Republic? Look, Ghana, we don't even know how to protest. That is why, yeah, we don't know how to protest, period. Because if we did, we would have gotten a lot of things that the people wanted. You see, they didn't protest for 1 hour, 2 hours, as we do in Ghana. Then go and give a petition, and then the person doesn't even care. You give it to him, he throw it in the dustbin.
So you're saying it's like a routine?
Yes. There they protest for days.
Hey.
Yeah, that is what protest is. A proper protest should not be 1 hour, 2 hour, you know, then the police will tell you, don't walk here, don't do this. This is by the people. And that is what I call proper protest. And I see this in people who know how to do it right. In Ghana, we don't. How do you organize people for 3 hours and you say you've done a protest? And then sometimes you end up buying them lunch and pookie and all those things before they go home. And Mutuo, they will tell you that you brought us to come and protest, you haven't given us TNT.
I'm surprised.
No, it's true. Roland, I've done.
Yeah, you were at Occupy Flash.
Besides, I have my own, which is the Consumer Protection Agency.
Yes, yes.
I get to my point. People will tell you that we came, you brought us here in the morning, and it's 12 o'clock, and you are not giving us anything to eat. I ask people, do you believe in what you're doing? We don't. And that is the problem of Ghana. Look, the Kenyans, kudos to them, because first of all, if you are bringing anything that would affect the livelihood of the people, who gave you their mandate? And I want politicians to understand. You didn't come.
You have 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah,
you are giving threats to politicians.
No, I just don't want to say, I want them to understand it's not a threat. I want them to understand that they are there because we put them there. They didn't get there because their mothers or their fathers put them there. It's the people of Ghana. And Ghana, we should know how to let things work. And Kenyans, I say good, kudos to you. In other developed countries, they protest.
Yeah.
Even weeks.
Even in the UK, they've been protesting because they feel the Muslims have dominated. But Adubia, what do you make of the lessons based on your observations from the protests in Kenya to buttress what our own public opinion is, not only among consumers, but also the general population in relation to standards of living?
Thank you so much, Roland. Greetings to my co-panelists there. When I heard, was it Yesterday, yeah. The president conceding that he won't sign and all that. I said, at least he's done well. Like Capito said, a lot more of our leaders in this sub-region or Africa, if I should put it that way, wouldn't do that. But it's unfortunate. Must we wait when people are dead? When they started, what happened? He even threatened them, didn't he? He told them he would bring in forces and all that.
Yes.
To attack.
He said it was treason.
I think he even attacked.
He attacked them, yeah.
He attacked them. That's how come a lot more people died. So if after killing people, I should put it that way, because you threatened them, you attacked them. If after killing people, you now come back to tell me that I won't sign, then are you trying to whitewash whatever you've done, the evil you've done? Then you now come and tell us that, oh, after killing you, I'm sorry. Will that thing bring the people back? But when we want to bring it down to Africa, the sub-region, I was telling someone yesterday that it's as if our leaders don't learn from other people's mistakes. How do you mean? It's, look at the coups that happen in the sub-region. Look at the coups that happen across Africa from 2020, 22 up to last year. It's as if we didn't learn anything from that at all. And we always wait. If the thing hasn't happened to us, we don't care. Look at Ghana, where e-levy was being introduced. We went on demonstration, we spoke, our parliament stood against it and all that. People will go for money and come and stand and try to defend it. At the end of it, most of them don't even use mobile money and all those things. So they don't even feel it. After all, they are the people who even have the large chunk of money in this country and all that. But they don't care what the people down there feel or how we are going to handle those things. Because honestly, when you look at the state of the nation and how things are difficult, how people are struggling, when it even comes to feeding, then we have a minister telling us he's going to regulate cement prices. When?
Maybe perhaps we'll pose it as a question. Continue.
Do you understand? Once people have to get up to talk about these things, then you attack, then you are attacked, then you ask people to be killed. Then when you finish, you're coming to tell me that, oh, at least I've done well. I said I won't sign again after I've killed people. We have to listen to, look, when you look at VAT, when VAT was being introduced during Chairman Rawlings' time, Ghanaians went on demonstration. We said we didn't want it because we didn't understand. It was withdrawn. Then we have to go back to the drawing table, bring in stakeholders, talk to people, let people understand. If people are suffering already, then you want to tax bread, food. Look at food now in Ghana. I remember when the vice president then, as a running mate, had to go to Malata. That Malata economy bringing in Kenke. When Kenke was 50 pesos 1 cedi in Ghana. And now how much is Kenke? The least you can buy is 5 cedis.
But the cost was high then.
Which cost? At least when you want to compare even the minimum wage then, you could buy 2 bags of rice then. The minimum wage. If you're a salaried worker, you could have, you'll be able to buy 2 bags of rice. Now, your salary as a minimum wage worker, you can't even buy a half bag of rice. And so when you want to talk about the cost then and now, then we are even worse off than we used to be then. So when African leaders are not taking cue from other things, we want to kill our people. We are always struggling with the people to even understand where the people are coming from. When bills are going up, water bill, you can't even pay.
Please wrap up for me.
We can't even make ends meet. Food is an issue now in this country.
Well, that's true.
So please, we should take cue from some of these things. People don't want to just go on the streets and protest because we are so comfortable. We just want to be on the streets and do things. It's because we are hungry. It's because we are tired of the hardships we are going through. So at least our leaders should learn from some of these things and help their people.
Now, Nania, a key consideration...
You know how to mention my name.
And he mentioned my name good. He's the only person who's really Edubia.
We are able to come to this point because...
His name is a champion.
That's true.
A champion, yes.
Yeah, my real name is a champion.
Okay.
Now, we are able to come to this conclusion because the citizens tend to have a lot of sentiments. And it looks like those who are the duty bearers or the elected officers, of course, whether it's the head of the executive or the parliamentarians, etc., tend to misconstrue concerns of the general population to mean that these are instigated by political objectives. Now, generally, the standard of living across the continent is difficult. But how should leaders, especially making reference to this instant case of Kenya, and then even us, listen to citizens when they raise the issues even before they hit the streets?
Thank you very much. Roland, greetings to you. I miss you, boy.
Oh, me too, me too.
And Edubia and my brother. This is my big brother, Kofi.
My great older brother.
Yes. You see, when you make bad friends, your judgment is bad.
When you make bad friends,
yes.
your judgment is bad.
Yes,
Why?
Ruto came to Nanado not long ago. And he goes back and look at what he's doing. You see, when what people should let me talk.
No. Yeah.
When Ruto was coming, no, it's true. If you make bad friends, your judgment is bad. Because you see, he came, and immediately in no time he's going to bring a tax bill, because it's possible he's told him that you can go ahead. He said, okay, I'm going through crisis. He said, oh, you see the taxes that I have at my port. There are some taxes, COVID network levy. Now COVID has a network. So he's going to he told them, it's possible. You see, when we are also advised by our elders, we should listen. When Ruto was coming, Kenyatta said that he has worked with Ruto, and Ruto is no good, fit for purpose. And the Kenyans did not what? Listen. He also came with quotations from the Bible. The same way Nanado came that the battle is the Lord's. And we're also told by our elders that Nanado will not do good by us. This is a clear example. 9 people died in 2020, the election time. Nothing has been done. So, 13, Ruto has escalated his own to 13. Bad friendship, bad advice. You see, Ghana is a trailblazer. So anything that we do, other African countries look at it. Kwame Nkrumah and Jomo Kenyatta, Julius Nyerere, do you get me? They were together. Tanzania, Kenya, Mali, Ghana, Ethiopia, they were together. So everything that we do, they also look at it. So he comes, he meets His Excellency Nanado, they have a chat, and he gives them the way to go. And this is the way to go.
You can't make those conclusions.
No, I am telling you
leaders confer with each other. It's part of
you see,
diplomacy.
I am telling you that if you look at it the way it is, somebody has advised them. Yes, leaders, they confer with each other. Look at Trump. Trump behaved like an African leader. So maybe he was also conferring. Do you understand me? So if you make bad friends, you get into trouble. The good thing is that at least Ruto came to say that I have what? Conceded. But the fact that people are dead, he should be charged for it.
What?
He should be charged because his actions has made 13 Kenyans lose their lives. And it is apparent. This one is not the 9 that died in 2020 that till today we don't know who killed them. They said that stray bullets touched them. This one, Ruto's actions have killed 13 Africans. And we should ask for their blood. He should be charged for it. Because if he didn't do this...
I heard the deaths have increased to 22 even.
Yes, 22 people died because of your actions. And you see, it is also possible that there was no public awareness on the matter. As usual for African leaders, we become their slaves after we have voted for them. Because you go and stand in the sun and make them kings. And after we have made them kings, they forget that we employed them. And that is what it is. It is time we made them understand that without us, they have no duty to be on the seat on which they are sitting. Because we make them. If today Kenya gets up and says that they are not going to vote, if today Ghana gets up on 7 December and we the citizens say that we are not going to vote, it's going to be a stalemate. It's going to be what? A democratic crisis.
A period of insecurity.
A period of insecurity. So it is time for them to know that they cannot take us for granted. You see, Kenyans are great. They know how to protest, as my brother said. They protest for results. They protest having in mind that we want results. It does not matter what happens. I heard people talking about, it's about some racial things that are still there, tribal things that are still. What tribal? It is about hunger. People are hungry. The cost of living is rising. Standard of living is lowering. Even, you see, our inflation is so high. Now we have 23%. That is IMF inflation to bring money.
You mean the real inflation
but it
felt by ordinary consumers?
That is higher than this one. I say that data does not support reality. So this one is cooked IMF inflation.
You have a minute, ma'am.
Yes, I have a minute. I'll finish. So I am saying that even Kenya, their inflation is about 6.5%. And they are struggling. Debt to GDP is 65%. Ours is over 100%. African leaders should start setting up. Otherwise, we should all come together and decide that this democracy is not working for us. We have to look for other alternatives.
Meaning we should go back to chieftaincy?
Yes, maybe you have to go back.
If possible?
Yes, because if today...
That's a very adverse
No,
thing
please, if King Takitaria, is it Takitaria? Is now... Takitaria, that's the name, the Gamanche. That's his name. Tekochu.
Yeah.
Okay. Tekochu. If he is going around doing cleanup for Homowo, then why don't we give the nation to them? Because this dirty city, we have an MCE. That woman should be sacked. That today, the Kentucky, the king
of
the Ghana state himself is organizing people to clean. When your president said that Accra will be the cleanest city, I'm done.
I have somebody on stream who is a regular contributor to our discussions, and I remember I met him in Morovia. Was it the first time John Sisselif was elected also? We had to go towards the end where they had the Lone Star, was it the Lone Star or the MTN area where the UN office was, and subsequently we were sprayed with bullets. I went there with my colleague Matilda Haynes at the time, and Professor Bafo Ajimandria subsequently has transitioned from being CDD boss, an advisor to the UN, and now heads the Kufuor Foundation. And we know the historical underpinnings of President John Agyekum Kufuor. Good morning to you, Professor Bafo Ajimandria.
Good morning, my good friend, and good morning to my friends in the studio.
If you look at the Kenyan situation and then the brewing tensions within our homes in Ghana as well, would you say that African leaders just don't listen to their subjects or those who tend to vote them into power when issues pertaining to their daily livelihoods are related?
Good question. Well, first of all, let me say that politicians globally have a way of becoming deaf to critical issues that affect their people. If you look around the world today, you find so many protests because it takes some time for politicians to really recognize the problems that their people face. Specifically to our discussion, it is true that African leaders are less responsive to the needs of their people than others.
Why?
Look, why? Maybe we will come to that. They are less responsive for all kinds of reasons. Either they are not well advised, they are not properly briefed, or they are by their character or by their nature, which is something I didn't say because nobody is born to be bad or anything of the sort. But they tend to be slow in responding to serious challenges that their people present. So in political science, there's a concept they call political responsiveness. In other words, when citizens make certain demands, the speed with which a government pays attention and addresses the concern is quite reflective of the nature of the government. In this particular case, I think when the Kenyans started demonstrating, very peaceful, everybody knows that, it went on for some time, and the response they got from government was this excessive police reaction. Shooting bullets, live bullets, rubber bullets, water cannon, and other kinds of things that the police are known to use. But you see, this whole, one of the perhaps lessons we need to learn, because you're referring to Ghana also.
Certainly.
Is that over the decades, Kenya has accumulated a lot of international debt, just as Ghana, we have now found ourselves. a lot of international debts. And most of the debts are due, the payments are due this year, October. And they have this arrangement on the World Bank. And they are being requested to make sure they don't default on the payments. So typical of African governments, they turn around and slap taxes on their citizens without regard to the conditions of their people. Meanwhile, they will not touch their own privileges that tend to take a greater chunk of the national expenditure. So if you follow the Kenyan issue, you notice that when President Ruto first responded, he was a little bit mean, I should say. It was not until the attacks occurred at the Parliament House, the burning of the Parliament House, and the killing of about 20 or so individuals that he turned around to say, I concede. Meanwhile, as somebody on the panel said, 20 lives have been lost. So the point here is that when governments become reckless, and because they can go to the Eurobond and elsewhere to take money, they tend to forget that payment will be due, perhaps not in their time, but the next generation. The suffering in most African countries were planted, perhaps not necessarily by the incumbent governments. Of course, incumbent governments have added to it by way of their leadership problems, but they have inherited all these things. So in Ghana, my point here is, in the very near future, the next generation, if not the current one, will be demanding accountability of government.
Yeah.
You see, when the president...
Prof, you're saying
Yes.
it could happen because if you look at even the restructured Eurobond as well as the bilateral debt we have, maturity date is 2037. How old would I be in 2037? I think I'll be an old man. I mean, way into my... And maybe if I have my two sons who are in Ghana, they also mean that they'll be more agitated amid a lack of job crisis, so to speak. Unemployment rates now 14% could even go higher. We also mean that we have these situations portending in our country, right?
There's no question at all about that. There's no question. In fact, if you look at the statistics of the two countries, relatively, statistically speaking, Kenya is even better off. They have lower inflation of 5%. We have around 23%. They have a bigger economy. It's about $108 billion. We have just about $62 billion, on and on and on. But of course, Kenya, from the beginning, has been a capitalist country, unlike Ghana, where we started as socialist country. So there are all kinds of interesting differences. But in terms of whether it will happen here or not, I think we have to be looking at the dynamics of Kenyan politics before we can believe that the same thing can happen here. Not that it can't.
Okay.
But the dynamics of Kenyan history, right from the beginning of their independence struggle, the many years the Mau for the British and the thousands of people who were killed. And you recall in 2007, the elections of Kenya led to the death of thousands of people. And it was our own former president, Kufuor and Kofi Annan of blessed memory, who initiated the intervention there to restore. So if you look at the Kenyan politics and the dynamics of the politics, I think even though we have a high probability of having such an incident in the country, I think we have to be cautious how we bring the two states together.
Experience, man. So I'll take that from you. Now, it will be at the end of the day, what if there are key lessons we have to take from this? Five of them. What do you think there are amid the economic turmoil and the brewing agitations across communities in Ghana for our leadership? Because he's saying that the Ruto government was not willing to cut down on their Lexus, their Escalade usage, etc. Because here you're not supposed, if you want to make money, it shouldn't be in government. We're told by the president, etc. What do you make of it? Please go ahead.
It's very unfortunate, you know. After all the campaign message this government, especially Nana and Dr. Bawumia, Alhaji Bawumia told us before they came, or the good people voted for them, they've not been able to do any of these ones. when you look at even the I think was it in 2020 that the size of the people even working at the seat of government, that's the Flagstaff House, how even the expenditure, the monies that are paid there, and when you look at the state institutions, how they are not even able to get money. Look at STC. Before we left power in 2016, that place was very much resourced before we left. But what is happening in STC? Look at Cocoa Board. They are not even able to pay their workers for a quite number of months now. And people, the cost of living is going, standard of living is going low, and the cost of living is going so high that people are not even able to make ends meet. The last time I was telling somebody, you go to, I was looking for something, I went to Rent Control. And if you see the kind of things that is going on there, because people can't make ends meet, not to talk of paying rent. Now, if you want a self-apartment of, not even a self-apartment that you are sharing with people, 2-bedroom, you have to pay more than 2,000 for a month. How much is our salary in this country?
You mean the average one in Accra?
Yes. The average one, 2-bedroom.
It's going up.
It's going up.
Even in other areas, because I was in Tadi, was it last month or something? And when I asked about the rent, the place I went to, it's a single room self-contained. And when I heard the price, I said, whoa.
You mean the apartment buildings that we have now?
Yes.
Okay.
And some
Because
of them is just...
it can't be the compound house. That
I tell you,
grew up
even the
in
compound
Ashana.
houses. Compound houses don't even go there.
Let me just interject. Takrady had a peculiarity.
No,
With
I'll
this
come to
oil
you.
boom,
Kofi Kapito.
everybody went there to
Kofi
build.
Kapito
That's
will
what
come
caused
down.
it.
Even in the
Yes.
compound houses, you go to my constituency, Ablikuma West, and you'll be shocked. Single room self-contained. You pay more than 1,500 and all that.
Explain
and you are sharing
self-contained to them.
self-contained, a single room. You just have the toilet and the bath inside. That's all. You sometimes have to use your porch as a kitchen. The outer house, you have to cook there. Sometimes the people even share the bathroom with other people in the compound. And you are paying over 1,000 Ghana cedis. And how can you make ends meet if I'm paying that much a month and my water bill has not come? My light, now they just enter your house and they just climb walls. You see them climbing and you now come out and ask. Don't you knock and don't you ask questions? Are people in the house before you try changing people's meter? Everything, every institution in this country is just not working. And these are people who told us that somebody was incompetent. And because of that, we are coming to give you something better, something good. And when you talk, they want to refer you back to what happened then. But you keep telling us someone was incompetent, and because of that, we're going to give you something better. What do we have now? We can't even eat 3 times a day. It's now 010. You don't eat in the morning, you wait mid-afternoon, like 3, 4. You get some gobe, good gari, then you put water aside. So the following day, that is the kind of conditions we have in Ghana. Go to our market and you cry for if we are buying a single tomato for 5 cedis. This is the kind of, the last time I saw some jollof rice and I was like, this is color. Because the person, there's no way the person...
I asked you 5 lessons and 5 lessons. So you give me standard of living being poor. And then
the cost of living
yes, sure,
is going high. We can't even pay our bills. The school fees, our education system is now. Look, a lot more people are taking their children from the private schools into government institutions, and when you go, the classrooms are so crowded. When you go to some of the schools, they will tell you that please don't enter a classroom. Then you should know that there are issues. When you enter an institution and they tell you you don't have to go into this area, then you should know that there's a problem there, because they don't want to expose that. Because you, the head of that institution, you'll be in trouble when these things come out. Okay. And people are not able to talk because a lot more of the institutions are not working. Workers are not being paid. Meanwhile, landlords, your bills, now even water, we are not even getting water. Since Saturday in my area, we don't have water. Oslo Wusu's constituency. Since Saturday, today, yesterday I had to go to somebody in my neighbor. You can imagine me carrying water on my head because I had to get water to bath.
You carry water on your head?
Yes, I did. You can't imagine what is happening to my back as I sit here. Because I didn't have any, because I don't have tank. And unfortunately, that man has a tank. And for since Saturday, if you don't have water, how do we survive?
Kofi Kapito, if there are 5 lessons we can learn from the situation in terms of leadership listening to the citizens, agitations brewing from citizenship, that could be key lessons that we can pick from this. What would it be?
Listen to the people, listen to the people, listen to the people, listen to the people. 5.
Why is that a problem for African leaders?
Because African leaders don't care about the people. African leaders come to enrich themselves. Look, let me tell you, this is the only country where a president or a vice president can go to a funeral and donate 50,000 or 100,000 cedis.
Somebody will ask, what's wrong with that?
No, there's a lot wrong with it. Yeah. Is it his salary or he's donating on behalf of the state?
Or his Bank of Ghana
No,
salary?
no. It's two things. Whether if it's his personal money, I know how much he earns. So there's no way he can come out with 50,000 cedis. Roland, are you listening to what I'm telling you? What I'm telling you is we should let people know that they don't come to disrespect we the people who put them in power. Look, let me tell you what. Number two, I have something here. As you're talking about the duties.
So you're saying that we should relate that to how much, let's say, the vice president will earn and how much is donated.
No. We already know how much he earns.
Yes.
It's his expenditure that I have a problem with, including the president. Mm-hmm.
So accountability is key.
Accountability. Look, let me tell you what. When Obama came to Ghana.
Which Obama? The President Obama?
The President Obama came to Ghana. There's only one Obama in the world. When Obama came to Ghana.
There's one in Kenya.
The stool that we gave to Obama was not his personal stool. It is in the whatever in.
You mean it's not a gift? He has in his.
It is not his personal gift. Yeah. He came on behalf of the people of the United States. Okay, this we need to hold our leaders responsible, because guess what?
I'm surprised because you were on the street, so I'm surprised that you're agitating now.
Because you people don't agitate. You, the media, you are cowards. You are afraid to ask questions.
It cannot be true.
Because if you ask
it cannot be all of us.
The questions that I'm saying, I'm not agitating. I'm speaking the truth. I'm speaking what the people want.
Continue.
You cannot tell me that I should tighten my belt and you don't have a belt. I should tighten my belt, but you don't have a belt. Look, we were on, as I'm talking about people holding our leaders accountable. You know somebody who probably could not even buy Gobe.
You mean before the person entered government?
Yes!
You know many people like that?
I know a lot of people.
Like who?
I'm not going to mention names. You know them and we also know them. So if you mention yours, I'll mention mine.
They were traveling economy. Now they travel.
No, they could not even afford economy. What traveling, what economy?
From the visa.
Are you getting my point? The question I'm saying is, the power resides with the people. And until they realize that they are there, these people see an MP who is going for even a second term. If he's done well, why does he go back and pay bribe? Why does he beg people? Me pamo nanado, me pamo cho Ghana for montomame, monsomishe. If you tell me so pamo cho, in other jurisdictions, right? You know the TUC in Ghana, they are not serious. They can collapse government.
You mean you should be?
They should organize. No, organize and say, look, we are putting our tools down.
Because they are organized labor.
They are organized labor. So they should organize themselves. Teachers' unions, all these unions, because it is about numbers. I was in America. You pick somebody from the airport or whatever. Where are you going? I'm going to Capitol Hill. Why are you here in Washington? I represent the Farmers Association of Asankregwa.
Or the Ghana Raffle Association.
We've heard that our MP is about to vote on a bill that would affect the livelihood of us in Asankregwa. They've sent me to come and tell him that if he votes for that bill, he should not count on our votes.
You sound very disappointed.
I am very disappointed as a Ghanaian because we've been doing this for too long. Okay, from 1992 up to today, and we are repeating the same mistakes where, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Now look on our streets. Everybody is a VIP. Sirens all over the place. We don't even know who is entitled to sirens anymore. Okay, and then
you don't use sirens because you are a top leader of the MPP.
No. Let me tell you what. I'm a Ghanaian. Hold on. Let me.
You have a minute though.
No, I would. I'm a Ghanaian first. Sure. Number two, I can belong to any party that I want.
Which one do you belong to?
I belong to the Butterfly now.
That's why you're speaking.
No, it's not. No, I'm not speaking against. Roland, let me
sent me a message.
Roland,
I saw my fly.
Roland, let me land properly. I don't care whether Alan, Nanado, Baumia, John Mahama, anybody who comes is not responsible for my interest. They come in their interest, they get the big house, go around Accra, all the lands, who owns it?
You tell me.
You know.
But if you are really...
And I'm just saying it. Listen, this is only country that there's a BNI or NIB. All they had to do is to go to Lands Commission, get all the...
And investigate people.
Investigate people, ask them. People live at places, Laboni, Cantonments, East Legon, places that land is $340,000. Politicians are living there.
They'll be investigating their bosses.
And are you getting the only people they investigate is the opposition people. Why?
Yeah. 5 key lessons we can. He says, listen, not listening, or listening. It's a problem. 5.
Yes.
5 observations from
before
this.
I start, I will tell...
Which is deficits in our leadership.
I'll tell...
Capito.
Abrakofi here that
Abrakofi.
the TUC as it stands is moribund.
The TUC is moribund.
It's moribund and ineffective. When John Mahama was president, they did 15 demonstrations.
You counted?
Yes, I was in PRC. 15. Today, even when our interest in Senate is being sold, they are quiet. They are going to meet the president. The last demonstration that was done, they were not adequately represented. So you see, the various unions are doing demonstration, looking after themselves, when the main body of the trade union is not doing anything. Yaba is not showing leadership. I am highly disappointed in him because he was in the forefront of all the demonstrations with his boss, Asamoah, at the time. And today, what has happened? He's quiet. He doesn't speak for Ghanaians. You see, 5 things. Key. We as Ghanaians, we should learn how to demonstrate, to make leaders concede on their obnoxious laws. We made noise about e-levy. We made noise about COVID levy. We are making noise about all the obnoxious levies at the ports, taxes, and we are quiet. We don't say anything. Do you get me? We don't say anything. Things are not going on well. Our governments, we should tell them to be prudent. They should be prudent in their spending. The day I saw a Maybach, I never knew what it was. I said, this is the car that the special prosecutor wants for official duties. Maybach.
And I know a minister driving one.
Yes, Maybach.
A minister.
Yes,
Do you get me? When I saw, I said, hey, do you get? We sit in big cars. If we can buy your own V8, you see, a time is coming that every minister who comes into government should drive a saloon car. If you came and you didn't have money to buy a V8, government is not going to buy a V8 for you. How much is a V8? They sit in V8. Meanwhile, look at some of the schools in our villages. You've been showing on your network. Very sad. Meanwhile, they go there to campaign. We all go there to campaign.
In a V8.
In a V8, and when we get power, we forget about them. Governments should respect Ghanaians. Out of this demonstration, the people of Kenya have taught Ruto. You see, he was calm as if water has been poured on him. All the things he was saying before, he was calm. We should start letting our presidents and people respect us. And they should also be truthful to us. We allow them to lie to us. When they want the power, they come and they lie. Because they want power. 1 district, 1 factory. 1 village, 1 dam. Do you get me? Production, not taxation. Meanwhile, today, we are going to change the structure of the economy from a Gadsby economy to an export-led economy. We don't have even an import substitution plan. How do you change it if you don't even have an import substitution plan? So there's even no plan. They're always starting free SHS. So that even when you are hungry, they say we have done free SHS. How many people benefit from free SHS? Me, in my family, there's no free SHS agent there. I am the last born and my child is above free SHS. So what about a family where you don't have people going to free SHS? And the standard of living is so lowering day by day. Cost of living is lowering day by day. And you see, there should be awareness creation. We got up one morning, then Anado said we are going to IMF.
What's wrong with that?
What is wrong with that?
The same thing Ruto also did.
But they are afraid. He came here and took advice. You just got to say we are going. Don't make your face like that. It's true. We are going to IMF without any consultation. When His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wanted us to go to IMF, there was consultation. At least he made an effort. When we said that Nanado should go to IMF because the situation is that, he said no, we are proud people, we are Ghanaians. Then the next morning we get up, we are in IMF. The next morning we get up, they have removed the tolls, the road tolls, replacing it with e-levy. Now they are saying that because of e-levy, we will not go to IMF. Now we have e-levy, we are still in IMF. Double taxation. Now you see, the point is that they should do good by us. Because when you talked about the 2037, I calculated your years and I added it.
I'm 45 now.
Yeah, I've added. You see, you'll be so far away for Black Coffee, he will be off.
I'll be off, I'll be gone.
You get it? So our children are going to pay this.
2037.
Yeah, 2030, the burden. Do you understand? I will be sitting somewhere drinking tea in my garden. I will not be sitting there. Maybe my niece will even be giving me problems. So the point is that government should do good by us. It is time they did good by us and stop burdening us with taxes. Because you see, when they used to go to the market, Keneforia Test Company was getting 154 million.
You mean the bond market?
The bond, yes, the bond market. So the bond market, as a book runner, it was in the budget. He said it in how?
It was a bookie.
Now, let's go to Ledzokuku, just around the filling station around Tribula, where we're having the maiden edition of the election manifesto, which is now going to be a segment every Thursday right here on TV3 New Day, because when it comes to TV3, we're your election command center. Over to now.
Here in Teshi, Tribula. I'm currently standing at the Tribula last stop, right opposite the total filling station, and we're about to have conversations with the constituents to find out the key things they would consider when voting for their parliamentary candidates in December, when the elections start. Now, you might know that Teshi is a Gang community. It's got a significant youth population. And so it will be interesting to know what the youth expect in terms of development and in terms of providing the amenities which are needed for the community to thrive. Now, we've had a few communications and interviews, if you like, off camera, and a lot of the constituents who say they will vote for Bernard Okoboy say he brings a youthful spirit, and those who say they will vote for Ayiku also say that they are very happy for what he's done for them so far. So I'm just going to speak to a few of them just to set the tone for this morning's community engagement, and then right after big issues we'll have further discussions. All right, Ofana Noba, Ofana Togbe,
Ofana Jonathan, Ashley Annan Ajay.
Jonathan, you mean of you?
I am a teacher and I'm also schooling.
You're a teacher and you're also schooling?
Yes, please.
But you've been doing some community politics, haven't you?
Yes, please.
What exactly have you been doing?
I stood in for unit committee member.
Unit committee member.
The recent one that ended.
Did they vote for you?
No, unfortunately I didn't win.
You didn't win?
Yes, please.
Okay. So what are your expectations going into December elections?
My expectation is simply somebody who is vibrant, who can lobby for developmental projects. Somebody mokoni banyeni a lobby for developmental projects.
Tamo mini neke.
Tamo wa rules ne when what the money ninya bana bumps here road no.
Speed bumps.
Speed bumps. She biane just see Dr. Okoboy wo onake afifen asphalt. Afifen asafin. First we kaje Lekma hospital Kenya. Onyo chono. It is dusty. So dusty. ke okwe waitene no asprotef
Okay.
ni Dr. Okoboy lobby ni anye afi
Okay.
ehani yutele una hia men ya hiye football try me kanibi
Okay.
kwe e winning kwe komana ke gbe ni kashike je bi ne ke ya emene Malik.
Okay.
Komana ke nu
Kwe be na afi.
Kwe be na afi.
Now, me don't you vote in your hale.
I don't know. Ake yala.
Eya.
Yala. Flimsy ni bi.
Ewo yala ne ya ewo.
Yala ne ya na vote against le.
Okay. She ani nke NDC new enwari. O fa ne bon touch oboten.
Atomi
Israel ajete ochemba. Ni mini bo ho fio community emi.
organizer of the NDC.
Constituency youth organizer of the NDC. Ofane Jonathan Ke anji nyefo shikinye ha okobo nkwen be ne agbegbe na afio fe na eja kele ne ba enye eba fe lek magbe ahun kete la scala ne le no hu elobi ne ake astrotef eba bia ne ni ayikuba mi na efe.
Ora don if you age mada TV3 shike ha ne ke program ne. If you age mada TV3 shike ha ne ke program ne. Na shoko wole ake bo un teshi na oje. No le be ni teshi shika momo. Kamo yo. 4 years ago. Alo some 7 to 8 years ago ni money chon ake le figbe ne yo power no mi egbe no fe famo abi driver say ni obi ene abi mate fu eni chon ni ebi ene be no fe famo. It is under the tenure of Honorable Benjamin Ikunate ni alobi can make project ne the internal rules as 14 of the internal rules under Benjamin Ikunate ni afen the rules ne no mi pa me fai ni bi akomeye amawie anokwale and the eternal no me gba no fe from emo ena abon fe mo teshi ma bi teshi na fe demonstration after the MP has lobbied and aka ni NDC nyoni wo asumoni aba fe mini aba fo mi no le no a fund massive demonstration no to fix our road demonstration ye teshi all the drivers moko ya anu tumo drivers say moko ya anu tumo what demonstrate dana low machines ke ba hwe gbe no oh exactly last year 31st May last year na the road and she keje lekma junction no through to ni still afelololo no the internal roads construction agency last year 3rd of May 31st of May alomimale na agency no it was under of Benjamin Ikunate the lobby ni teshiman bi teshimun administrate worker drivers all the driver unions ke other unions niji group ko na tole Tesi Youth Alliance amamedumoshi fix our road demonstration if you are TV3 people cover Belamundi ke a group ameba cover no mo fia mo ya we it's about time nisa na wi anokwale sisiji under Okoboy nutumo ko be ni etu cause be no fen fam emu mene under Benjamin Iku be no fen femini kati or entire Tesi Youth Alliance ke wo driver union se fen wo tesi wo dumoshi na ba fe gbe
okay e wo bo ke be Honorable Iku ni fe bo wo ke Okoboy ni fe ewo ole okay demonstration pay fi ogbelo ole ke atwa 8:30 wo ba tashi for 1 hour ni wo ba wie sani ojogba ewo wo ba san wo ya back to Roland work na your studio mi bia ne ewo wo ba san wo ba keke wo tashi wo ba wie 1 hour mo fe mo ba twon noni back noni he woni san wo for shikia ha Honorable Okoboy alo Honorable Ayiku ewo over to you Roland Walker.
Certainly. So the maiden edition of a segment we call Election Manifesto is taken off today right here on TV3 New Day. And as you know, TV3, we are your election command center. It's going to be in the next hour. So this is just a prelude telling you how, you know, the views are taking shape. Professor Bafo Ajimandria, are you still on the stream? Okay. All right. So now let's try to end this conversation. Let's try to end this conversation quickly. Then we'll go on to, because Elizabeth Ohene has been replying Kofi Kapito and his people who are agitating why we shouldn't sell hotels. Just 2 minutes on this, on the lessons, and then forthrightly.
My name that they say they shouldn't sell. I've spoken about.
I've retracted it. I've retracted it. All apologies.
I haven't spoken. So why
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. It's our next conversation.
What I want to say is that the way
We just have 6 months to the election. So, Kofi,
have 5 months,
okay, 5 months. So just 2
the
minutes.
way this government is bloated.
It's a long thing.
The way this government is bloated, and the vice president, their flag bearer is telling us that he's going to.
He's not the only one. Everybody, all the candidates are saying, including John Mahama, they're going to have a reduced size in the next term.
You let me say my thing.
Please continue.
He says he's going to govern this country with 50 people. But at least it's not too late. We thought that by the time he said that thing, and there was a little reshuffle of something that went on, they could have dropped all those people. All those people that Parliament didn't want to approve. I don't know why they approved them. Or he made Parliament, or you should have told the president that I want to do this. We should have started, because their size of government one is too much, and the special aid has a special aid. Under one special aid, we have like 3-4 special aids. All those people should be cut off. The size of government is too much. When, like Capito said, you don't have a belt, you're asking us to tighten our belt. Meanwhile, Ghanaians are suffering. We can't pay our bills. The cost of living. Look, when you come in contact with people who are struggling, sometimes when people come to you yourself, you don't have. And it's like you are being wicked because you sit on TV, people feel like you are, so this makeup is done here in TV3, because we can't even buy the makeup. It's so expensive. We can't even buy the things we even wear to the studio. It's so expensive. When you go to the market, people are not buying, and the market women are crying. Go to Agbogloshi. When you look at the rotten things that is there, because they will tell you that they can't give it out for free, and people are not buying, because when they come, I can't actually buy tomatoes one for what's the name, 5 cedis. So I won't do banku and pepper. I won't do banku and okra, because 2 okra is for 3. I think is 5 cedis. How do I do okra soup? How do I go in for the food I want to? So now you go and stand by the roadside and you eat all this carbonated food, all those things that is making us sick, and our hospitals are not even being resourced properly. Go to the renal center in Kolebu. It is not functioning. It's not working. People are dying of kidney, liver diseases and all that. And this government is working on people in their government bloating sizes, growing big, and they are buying big cars all over the places. The taxation to production, what happened? Our dams, what happened? Our factories,
I think 2 minutes
what happened to it?
On the Kenyan situation, and then we...
Are we still on Kenya?
Yeah, you say 2 minutes before we go to the next one. You know, I have here a duty calculation of a vehicle. Okay, I'm comparing to the things in Kenya, which is the most ridiculous and ripping off Ghanaians by...
This is Ghana.
Ghana.
Read them out to me.
Okay. A Range Rover 2014. 2014 Range Rover.
That's 10 years.
The value is $18,000 from a dealer in America. In Ghana, let me tell you how ridiculous they calculate the duty. A used car which is 10 years old, they will value it as brand new today. So the duty they used was $88,300.
But you said the car costs
$18,000. That is the current price in America.
18.
Yes.
18,000.
That's how you got it on auction.
No, from a dealer, not an auction. Then they say, supposedly, they give you 50% discount. So the car comes to $44,150. An $18,000 car. The duty that is calculated is on $44,000. So the total duty for that vehicle is $280,574. You are talking about this is the only country that the duty of a vehicle is expensive than the vehicle itself, because by calculating 280,000, you are looking almost $20,000 or $21,000. This is what Ghanaians should get angry about, so that we tell whoever, if it's a law, we should change the law. Because this is ripping off people. It's stealing. You cannot value a car as it was manufactured 10 years ago, 2024, the same price.
Nania, once we wrap up, Elizabeth Ohene, who is board chair of SNITS.
I thought you said we were doing it.
Yeah. So then
Because I gave you my 5.
then you begin the SNITS conversation for me.
Okay.
Says that they had every justifiable reason to come to the conclusion they did in giving those hotels to Rock City. So wrap up on Kenya and then you start that conversation.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you are bringing it up. Now I'll talk about it.
Okay,
Not like when
before I
you
go, I just want, tomorrow is my sister's birthday.
Oh, your sister, what's her name?
Mami Brago.
Mami Brago.
Mami Brago Jantua Pepra. Tomorrow is her birthday.
Mami Brago Jantua Pepra.
So is she having a party? The last time when there was a party, I wasn't invited.
No, this one.
I'm just telling you.
Jantua
Yes, I'm
Pepra.
sorry.
All right.
Mami Brago Jantua Pepra. So
She lives in Ghana?
yeah, she lives in Ghana. She lives in.
Happy birthday to you in advance.
Yes,
She has a very smart big sister.
She lives in Accra, East Lagos.
Okay.
So happy birthday to you,
Mami Brago,
Mami
in
Brago.
advance.
Tomorrow is your birthday. May God bless you and give you what your heart desires. For Ruto and Ghana, we have seen it all. African leaders should start learning how to look after and be, the word is not coming, be responsible. They behave like little boys. When they get to the position, they forget that they are looking after a group of people. Because being a president means you are looking after a group of people and you are managing the resources of a nation. It is time they manage resources prudently. It's time they manage resources very well. They should stop behaving like young boys who have finished university and always going to the club. They should have some response. I think it is time for Africa to give the continent to women to run. The time has come. Let's try the women too and see how far we will go.
Shirley Johnson tried, though. She failed.
Because the men did not allow her. Yes.
Elizabeth Ohene.
So this won't allow us.
They were just breathing on her neck. If they had allowed her, she would have done better.